Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. We're live after the Miami Heat just defeated the Charlotte Hornets 144 to 117. The Miami Heat are now 3-1. They've won 3 games in a row after losing the season opener on the road to the Orlando Magic. So the Miami Heat have been playing some really fun basketball, and we're going to break down everything today on this live episode. And this was a huge win for the Miami Heat. Yes, it was against the Charlotte Hornets, who are not a great team, but the Miami Heat absolutely torched the Charlotte Hornets 144 to 117. And this was one of the best offensive performances we've seen in this early season. This is the second time in 4 games that the Miami Heat have scored 140 points or more. We did this against the Memphis Grizzlies. We scored 146 points against the Grizzlies in that 32-point blowout. And we were able to do it again. And the crazy thing is that the Miami Heat scored over 140 points in 1 game last year. So let that sink in. The Miami Heat scored 144 points tonight, 146 against the Memphis Grizzlies. We are an elite offense. Small sample size, yes. It's only been 4 games. But with this Miami Heat team, especially tonight, the ball movement was elite. Everyone was involved. Miami Heat, they shot over 54% from the field. And this wasn't just a few hot hands. This was team basketball. You could feel the chemistry tonight, the pace, the spacing, the confidence. This is the version of the Miami Heat that could hang with anybody in the Eastern Conference this season. This showed what Miami's offense can do when everything clicks. Yes, we don't have a superstar, but we have a team that is unselfish, that shares the ball. We have capable scorers. We have veteran players, former NBA champions, former All-Stars. And the best part about tonight's victory, they did this without Norman Powell, and they did this obviously without Tyler Hero, who hasn't played yet this season. But either way, balanced scoring is a huge blueprint for the Miami Heat this season. And this is something that the Miami Heat hopefully can continue to do. Have that mentality where it's just everybody's going to touch the ball. Everybody's going to get an opportunity. We're going to ride with the hot hand. And Eric Spoelstra's rotations have looked sharper now that the bench is producing. The Miami Heat's bench outproduced the Charlotte Hornets tonight by a large margin. They've been doing that so far in all of these 4 games this season. Miami's bench had a 58 to 33 advantage in bench points tonight. The Heat probably now have the highest scoring bench in the entire NBA. I saw something at halftime where the Miami Heat were the second leading bench in terms of points per game, which was like 50 something, 52, 53 per game, only behind the Memphis Grizzlies. And that probably changed tonight after the Miami Heat scored 58 points off of the bench, and they were led by Jaime Jaquez Jr., who is definitely our player of the game, which we'll get into later. But the Miami Heat, this game was close in the first quarter, and it was a back-and-forth battle. LaMelo Ball in the first quarter had 4 3-pointers. I think he was 4 for 4 in that first quarter, had 14 points, was playing really well. And it was a back-and-forth game, but still, the Miami Heat scored a ton of points in that first quarter. Their defense had trouble shutting down LaMelo, mainly in that first quarter. But they still outscored the Hornets 34 to 37 in that first quarter. Second quarter is when the Miami Heat started hitting some 3-pointers, and that's where Jaime Jaquez just absolutely dominated. He had 10 points in the first quarter, had 10 points in the second quarter, I believe, or maybe 12. Did he have 20? Yeah, I think he had 20 at halftime. So he had 10 in the first, 10 in the second quarter. And the Miami Heat outscored the Charlotte Hornets 39 to 26. Miami closed the first half on a 11-0 run over the final 3 minutes and 13 seconds to take a 76-60 lead into halftime. So huge first half for the Miami Heat. Jaime Jaquez looked amazing from the get-go. He hit 2 3-pointers, finally hit a 3-pointer. First 3 games, didn't hit a 3-pointer, didn't take many, was shooting 0% on the year. Small sample size, obviously, but in that first quarter, he was perfect. Like he was 2 for 2 from 3, had a nice bucket in the paint, got some free throws in the first quarter. Second quarter, only shot he missed was a 3-pointer, basically, but he had a huge dunk to close out halftime and had 20 points in the first half. I took a picture of it. So yeah, he was 5 for 6 from the field at half, 2 for 3 from 3, 8 for 8 from the free throw line in the first half. That was also huge because Jaime Jaquez was shooting 61% from the free throw line in the first 3 games of the season, and 8 for 8 at halftime. He had 20 points, 2 rebounds, and we had a bunch of double figure scores in that first quarter or first half alone. We had 8 overall, I believe, for the entire game. But in the first half, Bam Adebayo, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 4 for 7 from the field. Bam was 2 for 2 from 3, so that was clutch for him. Wiggins, solid first half, also 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 4 for 8 from the field, 1 for 3 from free, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Pelle Larsson got to start. So Norman Powell was a late scratch, didn't play today, as I mentioned earlier. We thought that could have been an issue, but they're playing against the Hornets, so wasn't that big of a deal, especially after the way this Miami Heat's team played together. Norman Powell Pelle Larsson came in for Norman Powell after not really being in the rotation the first 3 games of the season. First 3 games of the season, Pelle Larsson played 16 minutes total. Tonight, played a lot more. In the first half, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 4 for 6 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, 2 for 2 from the line. Huge game for Pelle. Simone Fontecchio has been a breath of fresh air. People were worried that once we traded Duncan Robinson and that Tyler Hero was out, where is that 3-point shooting going to come from? The Miami Heat have been amazing from the 3-point line so far this season, and that is thanks to Simone Fontecchio off of the bench in the first quarter or first half. In 9 minutes, he had 10 points, 1 assist, 3 for 4 from 3, 1 for 1 from the free throw line. He was incredible. This Miami Heat team, this offense, I just don't understand where this is coming from. Coach Spo, was coaching a great game tonight. His philosophy has completely changed, where the Miami Heat are basically not running any pick and rolls at all at this point, which is crazy to think. Like, they are not running pick and roll, and that was their bread and butter typically. They're running the DHO a ton the last 5 seasons with Bam Adebayo, and right now it's just a completely different type of offense right now, where we are literally averaging like 7 seconds or less, it seems like, in terms of just like our offense. Like, we're just like running down the court, and whoever's open is just taking that shot immediately. It's just crazy to see that this Miami Heat team is now leading the NBA in pace. They are one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the NBA. They are now ranked number 1 in points per game, which is insane. The Miami Heat, the last season, were ranked 25th in points per game. That has been their Achilles heel, scoring. Last year, they averaged 109 points per game. Right now, the Miami Heat, let's see, what are they averaging across 4 games? I just want to double check. 131.5 points per game, which is just unreal. A season ago, or 2 seasons ago, the Miami Heat were 30th in scoring. The season before that, 27th. They have been a bottom feeder offensive team for the longest time. Offensive rating, bottom 10. Last season, they were like 21, I believe. Right now, the Miami Heat are number 10 in offensive rating, top 10 in offensive rating. This is the first time, I think, since the year we got Kyle Lowry and Victor Oladipo when the Miami Heat were the number 1 seed in the East. But right now, offensive rating, number 10 at 115.8. Defensive rating, number 4. That is the Miami Heat's calling card. That is their bread and butter. They are playing amazing on both sides of the ball right now, which is just amazing. You can't complain. This team is playing with energy. They're playing with passion. They're playing with poise, and they look really amazing right now. I'm proud of this team. It's, again, only been 4 games, but after losing the first game of the season, the Miami Heat were on a huge losing streak. If you go back to the preseason and the playoffs last year, but now we are on a 3-game winning streak. And as J-Ro Gonzalez is saying, you can tell by the energy, this is a different team. This is a different team. This is a different philosophy. Spo had a bad season last year. Spo's had a couple bad seasons. Spo has not been very good offensively. He's a defensive-minded coach, and schematically, he's a better defensive coach. But offensively, Spo is buying into this new pace and space transition style of basketball, and we have to give credit to Eric Spoelstra for allowing his team, this young team, to play this style of basketball, which has been working thus far. So, huge game. I'm excited for this Miami Heat team moving forward. We have a big game against the San Antonio Spurs, who are undefeated. That is going to be the true, I think, litmus test to see how real this Miami Heat's offense is and how real this team is. But in general, this team is freaking crushing it.